Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my April, I keep forgetting what month we're in, my April book review. So this time I chose a different type of book. The last two books were more like suspense, thriller. One was a novel, the other was based on true events, but this time I wanted to try something in a different genre. So the book that I picked was Girl, Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. So this is what it looks like. So this book would be classified under self-help. I actually found it in the religious book section at Barnes & Noble. I didn't know that it was a religious book, but it looks like the publisher is a Christian publisher. So that was kind of surprising, but I really enjoyed the book. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Rachel and then go into the book and why I liked it and kind of what it's about. So if you don't know who Rachel Hollis is, she runs a blog and a website called The Chic Site. So I'm going to tell you what it says about her here in her book sleeve and then kind of some other things that I found. So she's the co-founder of the lifestyle website thechicsite.com and CEO of her own media company. So she developed an immense online community by sharing tips for better living while fearlessly revealing the messiness of her own life. So the book really is her talking about her experiences and kind of turning that into advice, as well as examples of really just how to go about things without really worrying about what other people are thinking, and just kind of really mostly for women and about really just living your best life. So really enjoyed this book. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to read it. It came out in February of this year, so it's under new release, and I for the most part read new releases at least recently. So I was just really interested in what she had to say, kind of just a different style of book that I usually read. I probably have never read a self-help book. Maybe I know they have the 7 highly effective habits for teens, things like that. I read that in high school, but nothing really that I wanted to read myself until I found this book. So the way that she kind of does all her chapters is she tells you about a lie. So something that you believe or that she believes or that most women believe, and then she kind of tells you her experience with that and why that's not how you should think, that's not how you should live. So it's really interesting because it's different than most other self-help books that just tell you what you should be doing or what you're doing wrong. This is a lot more personable and it's funny. She puts a lot of pop culture in it, so it's just really easy to read, and it's not a very big book. I actually read it pretty quickly within a couple of days, and it's just written in a way that is really simple. It's straight to the point, so that was really nice. But she really talks about everything. She talks about being a mom. She talks about her career, starting good habits, working out, talks about her marriage, her writing, really just different things that she feels are important things to think about when you're trying to make sure that you're doing your best and being your best. And it's really written in a way that helps to motivate women to do what they want to do, live out their dreams, all of that good stuff. So I think her blog is a lot like that. I think the whole idea behind it is to have a place where different women, different types of women can get together and really just build themselves up. So her book is kind of the same way. So one of her chapters, I'm not gonna go through all of them because they're very similar in the way that she explains things, but I will have a blog post on this where I go into kind of more detail breaking down the different chapters. believe there's 20, and actually the Barnes & Noble book, so this one I got at Barnes & Noble, has a bonus chapter at the end, but I will go through the chapters in my blog and kind of talk about some points that she made that I really liked, but just for the purpose of the video, I'm going to tell you about chapter 2. So chapter 2, this is kind of the setup she has in the beginning of the chapters. So the lie is I'll start tomorrow, and she goes on to talk about when she's told herself that lie and then ways that you can work past that. So what she says is, I used to do it all the time until I realized how hard I was fighting to keep my word to other people while quickly canceling on myself. So she's talking about how she would tell herself that she would do something tomorrow, start a diet tomorrow, finish a project, reach out to somebody, and she would constantly cancel on herself and the things that she had planned out. But she was always worried about keeping plans with other people or not canceling on other people, but continuously canceling on herself. And I really like that, just because I feel like we all do that. I know I do that. Whenever I have something planned or I want to do something, but then I find a reason to not do it. But when it comes to my friends or, you know, doing things for other people, canceling on them seems harder than canceling on myself, which, as she says in the book, just doesn't make sense, because you should be your #1 priority. So I really like that. That one really stood out to me, and that's the one that I wanted to mention really quickly. But overall, I kind of felt weird buying this book because it's really like labeled as a self-help book, and there's nothing wrong with self-help books, but I just have never really been into reading them, or I feel like they're cliche, or just one of those things where I don't feel like I need someone to tell me what I should be doing or what I could be doing better. But this book really didn't feel that way. It didn't read that way. It came across really just as if you were reading her blog and her just telling you tips and her experiences and things like that. So if you're not into self-help books, but you are interested in reading those type of things, we read blogs all the time, right? The 10 best ways to be a better mom, or the 5 things you can do to lose weight. Like, we read stuff like that all the time, and this really is not that different. It just feels different, right? Because you may have picked this up in the self-help section versus just reading an article online doesn't feel weird to you. So I would definitely recommend this book, even if it's not something you would normally read. Obviously, if you're a fan of her blog, you may be familiar with her, and that in and of itself is enough for you to pick it up. But if you haven't heard of her before, or you really don't know what she's about, I really like this book. It really made me kind of look at myself, think about the plans that I have, that I haven't met, or that I haven't tried to start, and really made me want to do those things, because I think sometimes we think that we can't do something, or that we're already doing too much, and sometimes you just need someone to tell us that we can. And sometimes it comes in the form of a book or a blog, or someone you may not know telling you that they've done it before and that you can do it too. So that's kind of what I really liked about this book. So I believe it is $22.99 at Barnes & Noble. I think there was a 20% off, so it was under $20. This is the hardcover. I do, as I said before, love hardcovers. I don't really like paperbacks. You can also, I'm sure, get it as an audiobook. You can probably get it as an ebook too. So whichever preference you have, it's probably under $20 wherever you find it. So it's a good deal. And like I said, it's a fast read. I read it over maybe 3 days, and that was a non-stop reading, so you could probably read it pretty quickly. And you probably don't have to read it in order, because it's just kind of talking about different subjects throughout the book. You probably wouldn't have to read it in order. But I know she has other books as well. I think this may be the first non-fiction book that she's done. I think there was Party Girl, which was a fictional story or novel, but I know she has at least 2 other books, maybe a cookbook as well, I believe, and she also has her blog. She's also an event planner in Los Angeles for like high-end parties, which I think is how she started, and then her blog just kind of took off. So feel free to check out her other books. I haven't read any of them, but I do like her writing style, and I wouldn't hesitate to look at her other books too. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of what this book was about. And like I said in my blog, I will be kind of breaking it down a little bit more if you want to know more about it before deciding to buy it. So my link is in the description for my blog. Feel free to subscribe if you like this book review. Feel free to comment if you've read it, or maybe you read some of her other books. I'd be interested to see how you liked her other books, or even just this one, or if you have any questions. And of course, feel free to like the video as well. But I will be making more book reviews. I know this one's kind of short, but really, because of the type of book it is, it'd be kind of hard to go through all of them and kind of tell you all the different subjects that she talked about and tips that she gave. Definitely it's easier reading it. So like I said, I'll put that down on my blog, and you guys can check that out if you'd like. See you guys in my next video.